Today, we're going to be going over credit. In this series, we're going to start with the basics. I'm going to teach y'all about the basics of credit, and then we're going to move on to the more advanced ideology of it. But we're going to start off simple, y'all. So the first thing I want y'all to understand is credit isn't a score. Credit is trust, okay? So trust, this is one of the biggest things that y'all need to understand, right? This word right here, trust. That's the main thing when it comes to your credit is the trust, y'all. You're building a reputation, okay? My bad, y'all. I know I need to get a stand, but we're just gonna start off with this and we're gonna work our way as we go, okay? I'm gonna get something better for y'all boys, but for now, just understand the message I'm trying to get across, okay? So first you have to understand that credit is trust, okay? And trust builds a reputation. So you're probably like, okay, what are they trusting you with exactly? Well, let's get into it. They're trusting you with money, y'all. Okay? So whenever you're borrowing money, okay? Whenever you borrow money, they expect you to pay that money back, okay? They expect you to pay this money back on time, y'all. That's what I need y'all to understand. When you're borrowing money from a lender, and a lender, in other words, is a bank, okay? A bank, or it could be a person at times as well. That's called a hard money lender, but we're going to get into that later. But understand that you're borrowing money from a bank, okay, y'all? A bank. These people, you're borrowing the money from the bank, right? I know it's a little messy, okay? But you're borrowing money from the bank. When you borrow that money from the bank and you pay it on time, you're building trust, okay? When you're building trust with these banks and you're having these a history of on-time payments, that's building reputation, y'all. Okay? So trust builds reputation with the banks. Now, how does this benefit you? Well, this helps you get approved for things. So y'all be wondering, oh, how do I get approved for an apartment? How do I get approved for a mortgage for a home? How do I get approved for a credit card, a loan, a car loan? You feel me? Auto loan. A lot of y'all need a car. Well, guess what? You have to have a reputation of on-time payments with the bank. That's it, y'all. So basically, for example, right? Let's say we have $500, right? Let's say you borrow $500 from a bank, and you agree that you're going to pay these people back every 30 days. Okay, it's typically every 30 days when it comes to your personal credit. Now, I'm gonna keep it simple. Okay, you're gonna have to pay this back every 30 days. So let's say you have to pay on the first of the month, y'all. Let's say first of the month. First of the month. You feel me? You want to pay this $500 back on the first of the month. Now, it's not always going to be the first of the month. When you get your credit card, it's going to have a due date, and that due date could be anything. But we're just using the first of the month. Okay, that's just for example, y'all. So the first of the month, you have to pay a certain amount of money. Now, you don't have to pay the whole $500. Okay, y'all. You don't have to pay the whole $500. That's not what they're wanting. They're going to have a minimum amount of money that you could pay every month, and that money, it could be something like, let's say, I'm running out of space here, but let's say $20, right? $20. That's just the minimum payment that you got to make every month. You don't have to pay the whole 500 back. If you just borrow that 500 for that month, they're going to give you time to pay that money back, but they're just going to say, okay, instead of paying us the whole $500 at once, you can just pay us back $20 every month, the minimum. Now, what I want y'all to understand about this as well is, and I'm gonna go over this, I'm gonna say this a lot of times in my videos, y'all. We're not gonna do the bare minimum. So if the bare minimum is to pay $20, we're not gonna pay $21. We're gonna pay over that amount, because you want to show them that, okay, when they look at their system, when their system, they have an automated system, when it checks that you made that payment for the month, you don't want it to show that, oh, he made the bare minimum, like he can only make the bare minimum of $20. You don't want to be that person. You want to be that person that makes over that amount. Okay, you want to pay over. So when they check that statement every month and they show that he paid the money, they're gonna say, okay, he didn't even pay the minimum. He paid over the minimum. That's gonna look good. That's gonna be a good reputation. You know, you're gonna have a good reputation showing that every time he made a payment on time, he paid over the amount. So that's building more trust with the banks, y'all. So, and I don't mean when I say you have to pay over that amount, I don't mean you got to pay nothing dramatic like $50 or $100. No, y'all, you could literally do this. You could literally do this. I hope y'all can see this. You could pay $21, and now you're probably like, okay, $21, that's just a dollar over. Like, what is an extra dollar going to do for me? How is that going to benefit me? You think they're going to care about an extra dollar? Well, yes, they're actually going to care about the extra dollar, y'all, because you paid over the minimum amount. So they're like, okay, he's paying over the bare minimum. So what is that going to do for you? That's actually going to benefit you, and you're actually going to probably pay lower interest rates just for paying over the minimum. Because if y'all didn't know, when you pay the bare minimum, when you're paying the absolute minimum amount every month, you're actually getting charged more interest, y'all. So if you pay over that amount, you're actually paying lower interest in the long run. So pay over that amount. Don't pay the $20, pay the $21. For example, so if your bill is $50 a month that you got to pay $51 a month. It just looks better on your score. It's going to build a better reputation, which leads to better trust over time. I hope that makes sense for y'all.